Welcome, Scorpio. This is your monthly focus for December 2022. We will start with the astrology, then we'll pull a couple tarot cards, and then we will pull an oracle card at the end for you. So let's just dive right in, shall we? We start in December with the sun being in Sagittarius. So you are right now under an energy, it's a money energy. It's also a rest and restoration energy for you. Okay, so if you find that you are tired, then rest. Okay? Now, this energy is going to last right up until the 21st of December, at which time the sun will move into Capricorn and mark the winter solstice, of course. But for going into December, in the first couple of weeks of December, you are really looking at your finances, how you spend money, how you make money work for you, your investments, if any, and what kind of investments would you like to step into? How are some of the ways you can make your money grow? How can you make your money work for you instead of just spending it? It's also about resting and restoration. Now, Mars is also retrograde through the whole month of December. It won't be until the second week in January that it does come out of retrograde. So, really, when Mars is retrograde, life is under construction for us. And I can see that there's a lot of death and rebirth happening in your life and will continue to happen. But once you kind of figure out where you stand, I mean, this is the primal mystic coming out in you and being strong and alive. This is a time that you can make transformation happen in your life. But because Mars is in retrograde, we can't really go forward in the ways we want. And if we have been trying, we might be feeling like we're spinning our wheels a lot. And we don't want to be spinning wheels ever, right? We want every step to be strong and true. So this is a time to look at some of the things that you've left behind, some of the things that you want to step into, some of the things in here and now, but the expansion of those things. How can you grow those things? Maybe you gave birth to something a while ago, but you've done nothing with it. How can you expand on that? Maybe it's a project, or maybe you were redecorating the house. Maybe it's a work project that you started, but you just didn't finish. Or maybe you've been writing that book on and off for who knows how long. Oh, somebody must be at the door. They threw me off. I'm sorry. So it's all about, and it could be even intimacy and how intimate you are with other people, how much of yourself that you give away, and how much do you keep behind that safety wall that you have. Oh my goodness, a cough. I better get the door. Hang on. Okay, we're going again. Okay. I know it was mere a blink of an eye for you, but there was somebody at the door. So, anyways. And Milo's still in the learning phases of what to do when somebody's at the door. So, anyways, let's get back to you. That's what we're here to talk about, right? So, on December the 7th, the Capricorn party begins. We don't really realize it yet because Pluto's been in Capricorn for a while, but now Mercury moves into Capricorn as well. And your voice is really going to start getting strong. You're going to start talking. You're going to start taking in information about where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish in many areas of your life, not just one or two. This is really a broad spectrum. It's not like I can tell you it's definitely relationships this month, or it's definitely work and career this month. It's kind of all over the board. It's it's almost like you've got a choice of where to really put your energy. You'll be going into this thing where you're going to be talking about all kinds of new and different, maybe unusual things that you haven't tried before, that you haven't stepped into before. Or you've seen at a distance, you've always wanted to try, but you've never actually gone through and done it. So it could be learning experiences, travel experiences. But you're just starting to talk about it. And the reason why I say this is that you're going to make some really big life choices probably by the end of the month, mid-month, end of the month. And it's really going to change some things in your life. Once again, it's really about death and rebirth for you, of what you are closing off, locking the door to it, putting it in the past, and what you want to move into in the future. And of course, you have to keep the present definitely in mind under this entire energy, okay, of where you are now, your takeoff point, right, as you are the rocket going forward. So, and I maybe the cards will bring it in a little bit more for you, but I think for each and every one of you, it may be a different aspect of your life right now, which I find very unusual to say. I don't think in all the years that I've done it that I really see that. It's basically wide open. I mean, there'll be some transits throughout the month that I'm not talking about, obviously. I just talk about the big movements for the monthlies. Maybe I should start doing weeklies. Anyways, Mercury goes into Capricorn. Then on December the 8th, we have a full moon. We have a full moon in Gemini, and it really is about death and rebirth. It's really understanding what we want to let go of, what we want to move away from. Maybe we're getting rid of the clutter. Maybe we are ending relationships. Maybe we are leaving a job, leaving a community, leaving a home. Whatever it may be, we may be leaving a way of thinking or a way of living for a different way going forward. Maybe even changing, you could even be changing your language, for goodness sakes, your culture, whatever you know, it's really out there for you. So you might just feel like there's nothing. And this three energy, I get talking so fast. Your third house is going to be so alive for the month, and it just grows and grows and grows, okay? And that's Capricorn for you, right? So right now we have Mercury in Capricorn, but then Venus moves into Capricorn on the 10th and joins the party. So now we have Venus in there, and we are going to be expressing our love, our dedication to certain things in our life. We're going to be looking for, beautiful poetry and beautiful music will move us in a way that it maybe normally doesn't. You'll hear a song and then you'll listen to it in a couple months and you'll go, what did I see in that song? But at the time, it'll just, every word just makes you look in the mirror and understand where you want to go and what you want to do and what you want to say no to. And it's about our passion. Now, the best way that we can use Venus and Capricorn for ourselves is following our passions consistently, bringing them to life one day, one moment at a time. So you really want to, if you do meditation and reflection, prayer, or you just sit and have conversations seemingly with yourself or maybe with God, your angels, your spirit guides, whatever, the cosmos, the universe, that divine energy, your higher self, but you slowly bring it to life. And that's one of the most beautiful ways, is to meditate on your passions and see it come alive in your mind. And do you like that pathway? Because the next day when you meditate, you can do a whole different pathway, right? It's up to us. It's our thoughts. It's our imagination at work to clarify things for us to play it out so that we can see where we want to go, where we want to put our energy, where we want to put our time. On December the 20th, Jupiter moves into your 6th house. So right now, it's about creating laughter for yourself, really. Laughter and giggles and dancing and your creativity. And there could be even some romance involved in there, and growing and expanding on that happiness, that joy, that everyday feeling that you should be having. So working it into your life so it's there each and every day, even after this energy is done, that it continues to exist in a part of your day, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours or weekend trips or weekend getaways or long trips or whatever it may be for you, learning experiences. If you love it, I helped my brother, demolish a whole bunch of buildings. We got out the sledgehammers and it was fun. And people were like, why don't you hire somebody for that? And I go, hire somebody? I'm having fun. I'm having the time of my life. I want a way to work out any kind of anxieties and frustrations and hurts. Um, and what a satisfying feeling it is when that whole building goes down for you. Oh my goodness. Anyways, do what makes you happy is really what I'm saying, okay? It might not be something that everybody would agree would make people happy overall, but for you it makes you happy, and really, really allow yourself to embrace that part of you and to include it into your life going forward, the expansion and the beauty. But once the 20th comes around, you're going to be looking a little bit more at your health and well-being, how you can take care of yourself, how you can expand on feeling better, feeling more alive, feeling more energy, feeling more light, feeling more intelligence, perhaps. Tapping into your brain. They say we use so little of our brain, right? There's a whole brain there to use, apparently, that for some reason we don't use. I really don't get that, okay? I don't think there's anything that we don't use in our body. It might help things or it might hinder things, but there's a reason it's there. There's a reason, otherwise we would have just eventually evolved into smaller brains that held full capacity. Maybe that's, it was like when, a gigabyte, you had a computer with a whole gigabyte on it, 4 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes. You got to be kidding me. When they got to 16 and 32, and then all of a sudden these terabytes and stuff come out. But at one time, they thought you would never, ever need a terabyte, so why build a computer that way? Well, maybe we don't need it right now, but we will in the future, or we can utilize parts of those brains if we concentrate on it. That's just, I'm throwing it out there. I don't know why I'm saying that to you, but yeah, so you can grow your intelligence, you can grow your knowledge each and every day. On the 21st, the sun will enter Capricorn. You could be seeing a whole bunch of different things, and you'll be a little bit like a Dory. I'll give you that much. You'll be a little bit more like you're doing this and you're having fun with that, but now you see that and you want to go and try that. So we'll leave this on hold and we'll go over here right now and we'll do that. And then all of a sudden we see this up here and we want to go up there and do that. But, we've got these things and it's like a trail. It's like... So these things definitely can be happening in your life. Talking about things, growing that talk into things that are materializing. But what happens is on the 23rd, that's when the new moon happens in Capricorn, and that's when we start making some defined decisions about where we want to go, what we want to step into, what we really want to do, what we want to learn, where we want to grow, our talents, our abilities. Now, just before we get to the cards, the final thing, sorry, but December the 29th, Mercury will be going stationary retrograde. So for you, I think for everybody, for the collective, get any kind of paperwork, contracts, negotiations, things that you have to sign off on, things that you have to really, agree to get them out of the way, maybe even by the 20th or something, because you'll be starting to enter that shadow period. Yeah, I think that's probably just the best advice for you is just get all your paperwork in order and all your the expenses, and so you're not dealing with things, especially if you're negotiating a contract or obligating yourself to something, okay? You just, why deal with it when the energy is harder to deal with it? Okay, we'll go to the cards. There's nobody there anymore. He's being kind of silly. Okay. We will take the bottom 2 cards. I'm not going to look at them because I like being surprised just as much as you. And the shadow for the month is, look at this, the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is the ultimate completion of a path. And if you feel like you have been struggling in some way, or you've been pushing forward, but it's just not going as fluently as you like, or things don't come together as they like, you have to realize in yourself, sometimes we feel like we're a little beat up. We feel like, oh, it's another day of this, another day of that, another day that we have to be present for this or that or the other thing. And a lot of the fun that might have been associated to that one time has kind of worn off, and now it's duty more than anything else. And of course, there's parts that you like about it, but it could easily be replaced with something new and wonderful. And this is the kind of areas that you will be transforming in your life. Okay, I'm very serious about this death and rebirth kind of energy for you. And you are the mystic, the shaman, the high priestess, the high priest in this kind of energy for yourself. And I've never really seen this really come together like this before in my 10 years of astrology, of really reading it in that light. So here, okay, so usually this is just a horrific card, okay, the Ten of Swords. Everybody just shudders when they see it. But I don't see those swords in you. I see them behind you. So they are your lessons that you've learned, the wisdom that you've grown. They are your protection, your strength, your courage. And we may feel depleted and we may be face down on the ground, but look at yourself. You're starting to push yourself up a little bit and look above. Okay, you may not feel the warmth of that sun beaming on you yet because the clouds are just starting to break, but they're breaking. Okay, so for whatever you've been going through, okay, and not just feeling that sun on your face, the wind in your hair kind of energy, where you've been feeling depleted, you start to push yourself back up. You start to brush yourself off. You start to get a new perspective, a new alignment towards your best life ever. Now, underneath that, we have, look at this, the Nine of Pentacles, and you are ready to go forward. The veil is very thin, so talk to God, your angels, your spirit guides, the cosmos, the universe, that divine energy, your higher self. It's saying that you have completed a lot in order to be in the here and now. The sun is rising in the background. Even though this is an ending card, I don't see that as a sunset. I see that as the sun rising. And, oh my gosh, I was just seeing it in the camera, I guess. It looked like there was 2 planets there, and I thought, I wonder if that's Venus and Mercury rising in the morning. Those 2, do you see them, the 2 dots of yellow there? They're not on the card. I don't know. If I look at the card, I never would have saw them, but holding it up and then looking at the camera of it, so it's like a new day has dawned, and Mercury and Venus are both moving signs for you. It's moving from joy and happiness and giggles and laughter and creativity into this wanting to learn, wanting to do, wanting to talk about new adventures, new things. So you are pushing yourself up and you're ready for this experience. You've done the work. Okay, our first card is the Strength card. May have a strong reading here. This is about embracing your strength. This is about embracing your courage. This is about believing in you. This is walking with a sense of integrity. This is knowing that you're capable. Okay, you're so much stronger than you think you are. And I could say that whole thing to you but you know it, so I'm not going to. But we really don't know what we're capable of until we are in that position. And so it's almost like this card is saying it's time to take that step. It's time to test the waters. It's time to take a risk on yourself. So it's something that you've been thinking of transforming in your life already at this point. And maybe you want to think through it, but I wouldn't give it much after that new moon to really step into it, because that is the ultimate time for new beginnings. I am doing this under a new moon energy, but you're not necessarily watching it under a new moon energy. So I don't want to give advice for the here and now, but throughout the month, okay? And this is, and you have to keep your integrity intact. Your word is your bond, Okay, it's a not don't do as I do as I say kind of energy. That no, it's not that at all. It's like you show through example, through your leadership, through your actions, through your word, through your speech. We have the Hangman. It is going to be a strong reading. I thought when that Strength card came out, number one, that there's going to be a lot of strong energy for you for the month of December. And here we are, the Hangman. Now, the Hangman, here we are, and we're hanging there. But we're not fighting. We're not frustrated. We're not trying to get loose. In fact, we're almost in a prayer-like position, but hanging upside down. So, do we have to look at things under a different light, a different perspective? Now, there is a lot of emotion that we need to deal with that's obviously in the background. Even those poles that hold us up are twisted and curved. So, it's not always a linear line. It's not always black or white. And I know you don't like hearing that, but sometimes it's not. This is really about where you need to let go of control in your life, where you need to surrender in your life. And it's about being in the moment. The more you can put yourself in the moment, the stronger you will be going forward. And I'm laying this right next to the Strength card, so the stronger you will be going forward. And then we have the Seven of Cups. Now, don't be too hasty, okay? If you haven't thought it through, you better not be grabbing onto that brass ring and flying through the air. Like, that's what I saw. I was just like, phew, you're gone. No, we don't want that, okay? Now, if you've thought it through, well, you've asked the questions, you've researched it, you have a strong indication of what you were saying yes to or no to, then by all means. But here we are, and if you can imagine yourself, you're sitting here and you're looking up and there's these cups. And all you can really see is the bottoms of them. There might be a little bit of overflow on a couple of them, so you can kind of guesstimate what's in the cup. But you don't just want to grab a cup and run with it. Oh, here's the biggest one, I'm gone. Here's the shiniest one, I'm gone. Oh, this one looks like the useless one. It usually has the best thing in it, and you go running off because you don't know what that cup is going to hold. So it's really about thinking through, okay? Sitting there in quiet contemplation and imagining yourself going forward in a certain way, going forward in a different way. Trust me when I say, really, it's every part of your life that you can actually transform here, but you're not obviously going to do all of it. That would be like superhuman. It's more you need to pick a couple of priorities that you really want to transform in your life. Maybe it's where you live. Maybe it's what you do. Maybe it's where you've traveled and where you'd like to travel to. Maybe it's what you've learned and what you do want to learn going forward. Maybe it's being in a relationship. Maybe it's growing that relationship to a new level. Maybe it's stepping into a whole new group of people. Maybe it's inventing something or saying that you invented it and pushing it forward to show everybody, more than just the protocol. It might be creating something. It might be teaching something. It might be whatever it may be for you, but you want to think it through. That's what this card says. Do not be too hasty in your movements. Okay, you want to think them through. And that's why this Capricorn party, your voice, the things that you're being drawn to all over the place are giving you realistic examples for you of, do I want to do this for the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years? Do I want to do this? Do I want to grow in this way? Okay, work and career. Look at this, the Ace of Pentacles. So definitely one of the areas you're probably going to be looking at is work and career. Most definitely. This is kind of where you have been, going through these fields and whatnot. Now, here is the Pentacle. And I usually see us coming the other way, but I don't see us coming the other way. Here's the Pentacle. Here's the gate that opens up for us. Looks pretty foggy. Looks pretty unknown. Okay? But we're standing there, so we know we're in black and white. Why do you think we're in black and white? White is the new beginnings. But black is by being aware of the challenges, the chaos, the struggle that will come from this path as well, and being equipped for it, being ready for it, having that strength, having that courage, taking a risk on you, and letting go. I mean, that truly is your transformation colors, right? Black and white. I brought it up a couple of times. So black and white, it's about the death, but the rebirth. And so life will really change for you. Now, the thing I like most about this card is usually when it shows up in a reading, you'll get that nod of approval. You'll get that gift. You'll get that awareness that you're on the right path, that you need to concentrate more in this area or that area. So when it comes to what you're doing, if you're really being called to a different career, or really going for that promotion, or this kind of job setting that you can use these kinds of strengths, talents, and abilities. I just thought I felt someone tap me on the shoulder there. You'll get this nod of approval. You'll get this understanding of this is the right path. This is where you need to put your energy, where you need to put your attention. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I think every time a car goes by now, we're learning. The Six of Cups for love. You know, it's almost like you feel, like you can't be loved, or you shouldn't be supported or you don't need to be supported, or you're a very independent person, but I think that's more, it's not who you are, it's how you've built your safety walls throughout the year. Maybe what you've been told as a child. And this is about saying to give yourself to love, give yourself to the relationship, open up. And making sure that relationship is balanced and where the imbalance is. And it might be that you're not stepping up to the plate, but it might be that they're not. And look at your relationships and which ones are two-way streets, which ones raise you up, which ones do I need to develop or give more time or energy into so they do develop, they do deepen. If you meet somebody, well, if you start a relationship right now, chances are it's somebody from your past. It's somebody that you have history with already. Okay, comes back into the light more so than meeting somebody new. Now, that doesn't mean you can't meet somebody new, but if I was gambling on this, if I was a betting person, then I would think more so that it'd be somebody from your past, and you could actually think of them and reach out to them. It's not necessarily true that they'll be reaching out to you. Or you pass somebody on the street, and all for the next 3 or 4 days, that's who you see coming until they get close enough, and you say, "Oh, it's not them at all." Okay, your spirituality. The Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is about giving your spiritual life, whatever your practice is now, and it could be nothing, absolutely, or it could be a lot. But this is you understanding what you're capable of doing, whether it's meditation every day, or writing in a gratitude journal, or being of service to others. That's a huge part of spirituality, of being of service for another. There's no greater compliment than being able to do that, helping another person out. You made somebody else feel better, and you feel better for it. I mean, my goodness. But you're also going to raise the bar on yourself. You're actually going to push yourself a little bit more into what you can do to raise your spirituality. Maybe it's just doing affirmations. Maybe you're going to write a mission statement for yourself. Maybe you are going to start journaling. Maybe you are going to donate your time or your energy or your resources to some kind of community event to help others, or a worldwide thing. Or maybe you start your own grassroots thing. You've been helping with other things all along, and now you want to lead the way in doing something. So these are all things that can be coming in here. Health and well-being. Health and well-being. Well, you know what? Just say, I feel great. I feel alive. I think that's all you need to feel great every single day. This is the wish card. This is about, when it comes to your health, when it comes to your well-being, what's on your wish list for just those things? Okay? And think about, and it's not just about making the wish. Maybe you want to start doing something, but you don't have the time or the energy or the resources to do it. And so you say, okay, I need this to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. I put it in your hands because I don't know how to get this to work in my life, but I really want to step in this direction. And trust me, things start to shift around you. You say that enough times. You say that for the month. I can guarantee you by the end of the month, you are exactly where you need to be with the time, the energy, the resources to do whatever you wanted. I don't think it would take more than 30 days for a small little thing like that to manifest in your life. And what does it do? It takes you one step closer to your best life ever. Okay, let's get not a mantra card. A Rose Oracle card, though, we will get. And we have the Wild Rose. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness, untamed. Yeah, it's doing it your way. It's transforming your world in the way you want. Okay, the Wild Rose. I'll hold the card up in just a brief moment. Let me find the Wild. The Wild Rose, the Wild Rose. Okay, there's our card. Do it your way. If someone says that you're not normal, say thank you. If somebody says that what you're doing isn't normal, say naturally. The Wild Rose knows that no one rose is the same as another. She doesn't try to bloom in a neat row according to a schedule. She doesn't open and close according to who walks by. She trusts her timing, and she blooms with wild abandon. She trusts her timing, and she blooms with wild abandon. She's resilient. She knows who she is, or who he is, or who they are. The Wild Rose knows her true, unique nature. She wants you to remember yours too. She knows that what makes you wild makes you free. That it's what kept us contained that's causing us harm. That our diverse, unique nature is what is needed now more than ever. The card comes with an invitation to do what would make you feel the most free, to trust in the very thing that makes you stand out, to realize that you were never meant to fit in, that you were never meant to grow in a perfect, cultivated way. You were never meant to bloom in unison with someone else. You were never meant to be captive or controlled. Nature is full of diversity. It's imperative to survival, and is to ours too. So be who you came here to be. Express what you came here to express. Sing the song that you came here to sing. Together, the wild ones will be the ones who set us all free. The Rose transmission is, I free myself of what keeps me captive. I allow the unique wildness within me to be free. What a beautiful mantra for yourself to say for the month of December. I free myself of what keeps me captive. I allow the unique wildness within me to be free. And that's really, it just summarized that whole reading, didn't it? So until we meet again, remember, I do love you.